This is the silliest thing I saw this week. I'm Dave Pyper, and we are presented by Viori. More on Viori later in the show. But I wanted to start this week with another hot mic from Geno Smith. Last week's show, Geno gave us a good laugh when he was getting rushed by Aaron Donald.
Smith, pressure comes low.
But this week, Geno stepped it up a notch when he went after the ref Alex Kemp on an intentional grounding call.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 7. It's a 10-yard penalty. I'm talking to America here, excuse me.
The worst part? Geno wasn't wrong here. You can actually see that there was nothing more going on here than miscommunication, and my favorite part of all of this was Greg Olson's reaction to the ref's call.
It's a 10-yard penalty and a loss of down. Second down.
That is the best line I've ever heard out of an official. We'll get to the penalty in a minute.
Announcers were in full force again this week with Ian Eagle's hilarious Taylor Swift reference.
Kelsey finds a blank space for the score.
I hope this becomes a thing. More Swiftie references, please. It will make my wife very happy. Did you know that Kai Fairbairn's real name is something that would make a crusoverbalist blush? What's a crusoverbalist? Well, that's someone who makes crossword puzzles. Yes, I learned that while making this video, and now you've learned it too. We were lucky enough to hear Robert Smith kind of nail the pronunciation.
I want to have you try to pronounce the official name. There it is. Look, and look at, no, it's John Christian.
It's Kaimi no Lawameka, Ike Oke Kuma Pa'a.
I'm happy he did it because Lord knows I couldn't do that. In New England this week, we were graced with this insane and completely unnecessary comparison between Tua and Dan Marino.
Great day last week, right? And you go, well, does anything he does it remind you of Dan Marino? And I was like, well, I don't know. How can you tell? It's like one's right-handed, one's left-handed. So we flipped Danny around and made him a left-hander, and that's a little bit. But this one, if you make Tua right-handed, you got to say that looks a little bit alike.
No, it doesn't look alike. It doesn't matter if you flip the image. This was dumb, and you should feel bad about this, NBC. Shame on you for making Chris Collinsworth say this. I hope that I can keep making a weekly check-in with Bill Belichick for silliness. Maybe call it like the Billy check-in, something like that. But last week, we got the smell test. And this week, we got the most disdainful challenge flag I have ever seen. I specifically love Bill looking over to the ref to be sure that he's watching, making eye contact first. There's so much sass in this throw. This is like when you tell a toddler they can't play with the remote and they spike it on the ground in front of you. At halftime of this game, we got to watch the wheels on Mike McDaniel running at what I'd assume is full clip. I think McDaniel is so dedicated to coaching that even he wants to push the cameraman to his fullest potential. And as we can see, the cameraman lets us all down. But maybe he was surprised by McDaniel's speed, but not nearly as surprised as Donovan Smith was early in the Kansas City-Jacksonville game. Here we see Mahomes roll to the left and doesn't like any of his options downfield, and in a moment of desperation, he throws the ball to his offensive lineman and just puts the ball in Smith's breadbasket. And you can see Smith's genuine confusion as to why he's holding on to a ball. I have to assume this is one of the few times he's ever actually touched a ball in a game. And speaking of confusion, let's wrap up today's video with a few more confusing plays from Sunday's game. In Cincinnati, we're in the middle of the third quarter, and Geno Stone makes a fine interception on Joe Burrow, but the confusing part here is why he runs out of bounds. It seems like he could take the smallest step to the right here and take this thing to the house. Now, I wish that the all-22 footage was available, but it isn't yet. Sources are saying that he has Lamar Jackson on his fantasy team, and he was looking to get the offense back on the field. But yeah, this was just kind of weird to me. Maybe he hates running. I can't explain it. Tide goes in, tide goes out. Can't explain it. Okay, this makes no sense at all. This is the first time this season that my conspiracy brain is going off in full force. This game is over between the Rams and the Niners. The Niners are up by 10, and I could see why maybe the Rams would try to get up to the line and throw a Hail Mary for fun just to get the game close. But there is so much urgency with the ref to get this ball placed, and Stafford runs up and spikes the ball with like 4 seconds left, only to run out the kicking team. Now listen, the line on this game was 7.5. Rams make the field goal and cover the spread. And if you're following Harris After Dark, you'd know that Chris took the Rams this week. And I can only assume that he got off his yacht, went down to the stadium, and slid McMahon and the refs something special to help with the cover. This is suspect. But you know what isn't suspect? My love for Viori clothing. Viori is the reason that these videos happen, and I couldn't be luckier to have them as a sponsor. Viori makes some of the best clothes on the planet and some of the best clothes for the planet. Viori clothes are made with recycled materials, and so you can rest assured that the clothes that feel so good on your body also make the earth feel good too. With the weather moving the way it is, I'll be shelving my core shorts here in the coming weeks, but as I mentioned last week, that's just going to be more time for me to spend in my core joggers, which are my new favorite pants. Go to vioriclothing.com/Harris to get 20% off your first order. That's VUORI clothing.com/Harris. And that'll also let Viori know that we sent you and that you support this show. Thank you, Viori. And thank you guys for joining me for another week of the silliest thing I saw this week. I'm Dave Pyper. You are all sweet. And pray for Nick Chubb.
Thanks so much for watching. Please, please, please smash that like button. Write a comment. Tell us who else you'd like to see us review film on. And of course, best of all, please subscribe to our channel and then click that little bell above the subscribe button and you'll be notified whenever we post a new video.